Welcome back, everybody, to Potato Couching Podcast. Back again, and Mr. Billy is also back again with his sexy ass mic. Could you say hello again, Mr. Billy?
Hello.
I think that this time we probably wanna show our appreciation with our Chinamen, like just a little bit more. So maybe we can say 你好啊，大家你好啊. Anyway, if you don't want to say if you don't want to say that, that's fine. Okay, so
It's not that I don't know how to say it. I can't say shit.
no, never mind. I mean, you just say like 你好. I think it's more than enough.
你好.
Okay, that's a poor pronunciation, but good effort. So today we're gonna be talking about a little film here. Well, it's not really a little film. It's a pretty big budget
It's an
movie.
epic wuxia film.
It's an epic wuxia film. That's right, and surprisingly, not many people actually do talk about it either. Just a little weird. But anyway, it's called Hero. I'm not sure what's the original Chinese title called. Wait, let me read this. I think I can read this.
英雄.
Oh, you can read it. Oh wow. 英雄. Yeah, this is a film starring the famous one of our famous actors in Hong Kong, Jet Li, who's is he still fighting cancer? I don't know. It's pretty.
Wait, he has cancer?
Oh, you
I
didn't
didn't
know
know about that.
You did? Oh yeah. So yeah, he recently. It's pretty recent as well. Like, I think he got it. I think about a couple of years ago, but like before COVID. And it's definitely not something that I and anybody wants him to deal with. But we'll keep our hopes up that he will recover very soon. But we'll see what happens. And then it's also starring a couple of other actors, actually. From one guy actually is from our last podcast, which we mentioned, Tony Leung, who's in Chungking, who's playing this cop, right? But now he's playing he gets an upgrade. You see, he's playing a Chinese warrior. Well, no, it's not a warrior, an assassin warrior. It's way more badass. And probably gets way more money instead as well. Not clean money.
Oh yeah, definitely. What do you mean clean money?
Well, if you kill somebody, I'm not too sure if the money that you receive is technically morally okay, if that makes sense to you.
Well, but ideology and philosophy worth more than money.
Oh, I see now.
It's all about revenge.
Oh, so it's all about moral compasses, huh? Now.
Oh yes, that's all this movie about. Morality versus pragmatism.
Also, Maggie Chu, which she's no longer acting anymore, I believe. Just people have their own shit to do. 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪𝓽𝓪, also pretty she's pretty well known now, but back then she's quite like a newbie. And Donnie Yen also, which he also now is a pretty big name at the moment. I will not be surprised if Marvel actually has contacted him to play some alien or some Chinese superhero character in one of their feature films, because Tony Leung already is playing Shang-Chi's dad. But we'll see what happens.
Well, let's see if Disney going to throw them under the bus like what they did to Iko Uwais in Star Wars. I'm still a bit mad about that.
Oh, don't mention about that again, please. Please don't mention about that again. Okay. To keep up the positive energy, we will say something about this. So I'm gonna say something first about Hero. So this is a film where we have a assassin, actually, right? So yeah, we have an assassin played by Jet Li, and he doesn't actually have a name either in the movie, which is also quite surprising. And his mission is to come to this particular palace and assassinate the king, but the one that actually struck out to me is the way he actually assassinates him. It's not like he's being a little bit that typical ninja, being in the shadows like Batman and just like drug him, or at least at the very least like pulls out like one of his knives, or like any of those like Asian like blades, and just like choke him, or basically stab him in one of his vital organs. No, he didn't do that. He instead, it's like, hey, sir, or in this case, the Great One, my lord, would you kindly have a pleasant tea party with me, in this massive hallway? It's a terrible British accent, and I don't even know.
He starts with exactly, and then he starts like 100 paces from the emperor, right? Or the king.
A what?
Like when he approaches the king, right? He has to start 100 paces away from him, and then over time, as he gains the king's trust, he can get closer and closer to him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's how the movie starts, right?
I did notice that. Yeah. And here's the thing. So, the film is actually about just these two people talking to each other. if you do think about it. So the assassin is telling the king, like, "Oh, I've done all this, amazing things that will definitely surprise you, and would." I think what he's trying to actually do is to trick the king to get him to get him hired, as like a bodyguard. I believe, if I'm mistaken.
Or rather, just get closer, right, to kill the king.
Exactly. So basically, like, at the very least, be a higher rank position somewhere in the palace, right? And obviously, eventually, would probably kill him. But the king apparently is not as dumb as you would assume. He's actually surprisingly pretty smart. Which also definitely does subverts a little bit of my expectations. Because I was thinking that this guy's like, oh yeah, this guy's kind of dumb. But okay. Because the thing is, the film is actually there's 4 versions of the same story. It's like, wow, okay. Because the thing is, so when we were exposed with the story for the first time, which was told by, for some reason, Jetty's character is credited as Nameless, but we just call him Nameless now. So Nameless tells the story of, oh yeah, I went to this, to this forbidden little town where a bunch of students, they still practice like these little secret calligraphy thing, and I basically I killed them all by my own hands, and possibly get them all to turn on each other, that kind of thing. And for a second, you actually do buy it, but then once the story is done, then you can see the camera cuts to a bunch of these candles that were lit in front. That's basically like separating between him and the king, and you can see all these candles is just like pointing in a certain direction, which actually kind of metaphorically means that he's lying. As that, oh, okay. And then basically the king's like, wait, your story isn't very consistent. I can see some problems here. Because I remember there is a guy that I apparently, obviously, we're not too sure which source he's referring to, but basically just like, oh yeah, I heard from like one of my friends, which I do trust. This thing happened, but when you said this part of your story, it doesn't really match up. Like, what's going on here? And then basically the king, I kind of like tried to tell from his point of view. It's like, okay, this is what probably happened. Is that right, little kid? And then that's how you get the second version. And then the nameless guy just talks back to him, and then you get another version again, and then it goes back and forth. Basically, for like there's like four times, because there's 4 stories, right? Yeah, and eventually the king's like, nope, I don't buy your bullshit. Get the fuck out of my house. And then he's like, okay, sure.
And then he tells the real story, right?
And then he tells the real story. and the real story is I don't know. It's like for some reason,
Basically,
right? It's like no, because like I was thinking that because I have okay. Here's the thing. I've watched this film a couple months back actually, so it's also quite fresh. It's fresher in my mind compared to you. But the one thing that kind of stood out to me is, I think the first two versions of the story is actually how do you say this? Stuck out to me more than like the last two. Even though yeah, I mean yes, the last one is definitely the most accurate one, obviously because it's actually it actually did happen, but that one I think is kind of melodramatic, but then at the same time, the reason why I like especially like the first version of the story, which is obviously like a lie, but you know what? The lie apparently sounds more believable than the actual truth, if that makes sense to you. I don't know. Which kind of actually gets me to think of a little bit of like this is the reason why people like to exaggerate because real life, okay, real fucking life, honestly to you, okay, honestly speaking, is pretty boring. Okay, you get up from your bed, you do a little routine in your bathroom, you dress up, you go to work, and then once you're done with your work, you go back. You get. I mean, if you commute to work, you drive your car back to your house. You make some dinner. If you're that one of those guys like me who does meal prep, then you do meal prep at the first week. Then you go to sleep. And rinse and repeat. For the rest of the 7 days. So that's why we as humans like to exaggerate things like that, especially to put in lies within our actual like our quote unquote true story. And actually it makes it even worse because even if you think about it, like even in Hollywood, when they say that, oh yeah, this is based on a true story, and then they're trying to like pitch it as if this is like what really happens. Look at this story about the American soldiers. They're going to war. Look at all these men we are sacrificing, and it's so heartbreaking to see. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, I can see that it probably happened, especially like the recent what's like the most recent American like World War II, or maybe World War One. I would say that we kind of watched together. Is it 1917?
wait, you mean something that's actually based on the real story?
Something that's actually based on a real story that's related to world wars. Either one or two, like depends. Is it 1917, the one that we watched together?
1917 is basically it's the whole thing is completely fictional. It's just based on someone's experience, but the actual chain of events is fictional. And let me think. I think like there is Band of Brothers, the series, right? It's a retelling of a real paratrooper company. And there's like I don't know if there's any movie about it. Like they say they make a lot of movies about him, but I actually haven't found one. There's this guy called Eddie Murphy, which is
Eddie Murphy. Really? That's his name, Eddie Murphy?
Wait, I have to double check. But basically, I think his accomplishment is actually stranger than fiction. It's so much that the first movie that was made about him, right, in the 50s, they actually had to tone down his accomplishment because it seems too exaggerated.
Oh. And also, there's also another one that I have that still in my head now. Hacksaw Ridge. I'm not sure if you've seen that one. Starring Andrew Garfield. He's playing this U.S. soldier who never shot a single bullet, and his job is basically to medicate the soldiers who were injured during the Japanese occupation. Remember?
As a paramedic, I don't think that's a huge achievement to never shot a bullet. Also, if you're a logistic guy.
True. But I mean, because the thing is like
not to say it's not, but not to say it's uncommon for a paramedic having to use a gun because like I don't think any sides of the war actually follow the rules of war anyway. But still.
But yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell that like they're trying to make him like this like really kind of vulnerable and it's like this underdog who never gets like the attention that he deserves, and then look at him, now he gets all the praises. Good. I mean, here's the thing. There's nothing against him, but actually, I would say it's good for him that this guy gets to have a proper, well, not proper, but at least some sort of exposure of what he has what he has done, and what he has served to the country, which is great. But I think it's just it's not really about like movies, but I think it's just us like human beings, we just like to exaggerate because it's fun. I'll just be honest, it's just fun, and it's because I think it's also part of our creativity as well. It's like, yeah, like why not? If we can make it more interesting, then why not? Like who's stopping us, kind of thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do think that in real life, right, the situations are always more complicated than
Correct.
how you tell them, which is
Correct.
practically goes hand to hand in this story, right?
Yeah.
Because by the end of the story, aren't some of the assassins, they're actually still alive, and then they actually try to convince Nameless to not kill the king?
Yes, but but yeah, then the guy and the Nameless narrator is just like, nah, I want them drips, boy.
Give me your broken weapons.
I want your drips, boy. I want them gold chains, and I want your nice porcelains. I want your mistresses and all the privileges that you get, king. I mean, why not?
I'm confused.
If nobody can have it, I'll have it.
Yeah, but in the end, he didn't kill the king, though, even though he had the chance. Because he wants the king to unify China. So he forgo revenge for the sake of peace and prosperity.
Yep. That's kind of what happens. Also, I think like the thing that does stuck out a lot is the what's for sure what does stuck out very, very prominently is the costume design, sets, and color grading. It's very fucking good. I think if you are,
it's aesthetically very pleasing.
Yes, I think if you want to learn, because I think if for those people who actually does post production stuff, this is actually a really good movie to like learn from, especially because keep in mind this is the back before we have Maya or Cinema 4D and all these. Okay, even the program that I'm also using now, like to edit videos, the DaVinci Resolve. And that's an industry standard program that people actually use to color grade. Yeah, you don't have that shit back then. I mean, maybe like the really crappy version, but still, because when you're trying to edit with like film, you need to be very careful with that. And also at the same time, even back then, right? Like during the 50s, when like the way they actually color the movies is they actually have to freaking paint on the film cells. You know how painstaking is that? Especially if the films are really like that small, right? So yeah, I mean, I think have you seen like those like photography cameras, and then like you see like those film reels is like super like really small.
Oh yeah,
You know
I
about
can
that?
imagine.
Yeah, so imagine like you as like the artist in your post production, you need to paint every frames of those, like by hand. There's no shortcuts like through that. You have to do that. That's why they're trying to hire like as much people to do this. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think for this era, maybe there might be some computer technology that they use.
There are CGIs, right? Because
Yeah,
they
definitely.
use CGI for the arrows and some close up of sword interacting with other stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is that I didn't actually notice it. Like no, it's not. No, actually, I didn't really. It doesn't distract me like at all. Like I actually do believe it that they actually did use like arrows. I mean, obviously now that I think about it, no. But when I'm actually watching it, you don't actually think about it like at all because you're so entranced with the whole story itself, and you actually do root for, especially even like like especially like the ladies who actually Nameless met them in that town where they practice calligraphy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it does help a lot. So yeah, I think this movie has a really tight script and very very good production value. How much is the budget anyway?
Yeah,
I don't think it's I mean I'm pretty sure it's a lot of money, but I don't think it's
it's
Hollywood money.
30. It's 31 million. That's big
Oh,
in
okay, okay,
Hong Kong,
okay,
right?
okay. Never mind. Okay, yeah,
Early 2000
that's
Hong
pretty
Kong.
big.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah, that's already a huge budget. Okay.
Holy crap! But yeah, they have great names, and honestly, I think it's really good.
But then again, if you think about it, right, this is this is in Hong Kong and it's a big budget and it's actually because the thing is a lot of big budget movies they're just trying to play it as safe as possible. I mean, the movie is also kind of safe as well. I mean, like arguably, it's not like Talking Express where you have like really weird characters doing questionable, legally questionable actions where like the girl stalks the cop, like the kind
And
of thing.
also a very the first cop is also like a very cringy guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that one too. But it's still pretty impressive that with that a lot of money, they're still able to make something like this amazing. Uh, it's actually getting rare and much rarer these days. It's already rare back then, and it's even getting rarer now.
Sometimes I watch epic Chinese war movies, right? I'm not talking about the Chinese and Japanese war. I'm talking about like during the ancient or medieval time.
Mm.
But yeah, I do understand what you mean by play it safe, because it's just basically like a normal drama, and like, oh, okay, here's a big set piece, but then they don't actually play around with the color. Aesthetically, it's the same throughout the movie, and there's no like plot twist or whatsoever. It's just
They
basically bad versus
probably
evil.
they probably didn't even make their own costume. They probably just like get like some costume from their local like costume shop, and they say, oh yeah, I'm gonna just rent all of your costumes just for this movie, and then we'll just give it to you back. Like, okay, cool. Like
But at the same time, yeah, but at the same time, it's a bit hard to like to not do that, right? Just because, let's say, if you're making a movie for a very specific time period and also a specific kingdom, then
and also
if you like to do
and also a
accuracy.
very specific story as well. There's also very very specific. I don't think because the thing is, even though the course that they were, I don't think that's pretty something that you usually see in like period pieces. Because usually if you see period pieces, especially like these days, it's usually about like the king and the queens and all the mistresses and all these servants, all this stuff. They were really they wear something that that you kind of want to wear, if that makes sense to you. It's like, wow, they look really good, they look really amazing, right?
Oh no, you're talking about one of those imperial court drama TV series,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Get out here. Get out, you piece of rotten potato. I've watched shows and sometimes they get really cringy.
Yes. Oh man, yeah. Where do
Oh
you?
boy.
I mean, I know that you haven't seen this in a while, but I don't know, from what I've gathered so far in my head, you have some thoughts that's actually, mm, maybe, I don't know, maybe change your mind like a little bit. I don't know.
Not really. Okay, but here's the thing, right? Sometimes how other reviewers and sometimes other people, when you ask them like, "What's the best Chinese movie you ever watched?" and then I think now the answer changed, but maybe a few years back, people would say Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I'll say this movie is better than Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah, this movie is like, in terms of epicness and also the storytelling and also music, and as you said, right, the aesthetic itself is it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Although I suppose in terms of the fights itself, it's plays like leans more heavily towards the fantasy element of Fuxia rather than the grounded fight. So maybe like that's what like hidden like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons, where it's better at, right? In the more grounded fight.
But I think
And maybe it's possible.
the way they also fight here, I mean, yeah, it's obviously more fantastical, and yeah, I mean, I don't think people back then actually do fight like that, to be honest with you. But I think it does play, it does actually work to their advantage, because this movie is also about a bit of that, you know, um, legitimacy versus what I'm trying to say is the story, is like, yeah, when this person tells a story, it's like, do you like when the person tells it, because, you know, sorry, do you believe the person because the way they present it to you, and the content itself sounds more engaging, and something that you don't usually see, or is it because it actually happened? Maybe it's not as dramatic, but you know, you do believe it because it's more consistent, that kind of thing. Which is just actually something that I don't actually usually bring up in a lot of films.
Actually, I wonder, right, if this movie taken inspiration from Rashomon. Have you heard of it? Rashomon?
No, but I can tell you one thing. This film, I think we did talk about this earlier today before we were recording. The lake scene, like the lake scene, right, in that film, where the Tony Leung is as a character, and the nameless guy, they fight each other because they have, like, you know, differences. So that that sequence, it's actually filmed in the real location, and apparently the lake itself is completely still, and you thought that the lake is actually done in post-production to make it that still and that pristine, right? But it's not. It's actually not, because it actually really looks like that. So it's just to tell you that, wow, they have like that much money to, like, okay, you know what, we're gonna make the water as clean as possible, and as clear as possible, so it looks like a mirror and it looks good on camera. So we really have to work that much during post-production, which actually doesn't make sense.
I don't think it's a matter
well.
of post-production. Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of post-production, because the thing is, this is early 2000 anyway. So even if they can, like, do it in post-production, I don't think it will look good anyway. But still, holy crap! Like, how do they do it? Does it mean, like, if there's a ripple, like, oh guys, we have to wait 4 or 5 minutes?
Exactly.
Right, now
exactly.
get the camera rolling.
Exactly.
It's like that's the thing. Everything about this movie, right? Like, every single shot, it's so memorable, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you ignore the plot and the music and whatever happened, it just looks good. It's like painting, right?
Actually, you're kind of right. You're kind of right. It says here, I think, because I'm just stretching out from IMDb. This occurred every day for only 2 hours, starting at 10 a.m. in the morning. To adjust to this phenomenon, the filmmakers arose at 5 a.m. each day to begin 5 hours of preparation and setup. 5 hours
Wait,
of.
Wait, what do you mean a phenomenon? Like, what, the water is still only during a specific time of the day?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So actually, because, like, it doesn't make sense, because obviously if it's during, like, later on in the afternoons, you know, some animals or some little insects would just, like, would just mess up with the water, and obviously it would just ripple, right? And apparently this took 3 weeks to basically get what they were after. So yeah, 5 a.m. every day, 5 hours straight, for 3 weeks. Just
Holy
for this,
crap.
just for this, just to get that.
That's crazy.
just for a shot that only lasts for what? not even 5 minutes.
The amount of artistry and craftsmanship that goes into this movie, it's amazing, isn't it?
I mean, how do you say this? I kind of want to compare it to like Michelle Yeoh's latest film, if everything everywhere. Well, that film also has their own merit too, obviously, because but then obviously the style is completely different. But this one is.
Go on.
What?
So like Michelle Yeoh's movie, right? It's a COVID movie practically, right?
Is it? I don't think so.
Yeah, because like I remember I watched the interview. I did not know if they do the whole thing during the COVID lockdown, but
I don't actually think they. I mean, I think they actually just they start production maybe around 2020, like end of 2020 maybe.
so
I'm
it is
assuming.
during the height of COVID lockdown, right?
Yeah, most likely.
In
Most
the
likely.
US.
Yeah,
Pretty
most likely.
crazy. Yeah, but then I suppose they have a different problem, yet they somehow make an amazing movie despite all of those problems.
Mm, mm. Yeah, it just shows you that like with limitations actually you can it forces you to think outside the box.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much limitation they have with this film though, because I mean, yeah, they have a lot of these resources, but usually with this a lot of resources, people would just take advantage of it and then just like be lazy kind of thing, or just like completely like, you know, just check off all the boxes and we should be good to go.
Disney.
What?
Disney.
We're not gonna talk about that like at all. We probably would never talk about that at all ever. Ever. In all space and time, no.
Boy.
Yeah.
I think more people need to watch this movie. What do you think?
Oh yeah. Definitely gonna get a Blu-ray of this. I'm definitely gonna
Oh
get
yeah,
a
me
Blu-ray of
too.
this. Yeah. Because the thing is like even when I'm talking with like my friends who are really passionate in like film, especially with like those people who actually are studying film as their a part of their like degree, that kind of thing. When I started to bring up like Asian films, they're like, wait, what is this? Like, wait, you guys don't know? You guys don't know about Hero? Are you serious? Like, no. And I was like, wait, how about Chunky Express? Oh yeah, I've heard of those, but I haven't really seen it completely. Like, oh, okay. I mean, to be fair, because I am living in a country where there's, you know, it's more white people dominated anyway, but still, because like what's funny is that they actually did watch more like those Akira Kurosawa films, like the older Japanese, and even if it's Asian, it's usually more catered towards Japanese, not much with like Hong Kong. Even though I do think they both have their own amazing films from any time period, but still, yeah, definitely we recommend this. And if they don't want to watch it, I'll force them to watch it, because I'm gonna bring the Blu-ray copy and just snuck into their house and just you know, like Clockwork Orange style, open their eyes and strap them to a straitjacket and just tie them to a couch and watch this film.
Oh boy, I haven't watched Clockwork Orange yet. Oof.
Oh,
Let's go.
I haven't
what
seen
to
it.
do that?
I haven't seen it either, but maybe we might want to talk about it. Maybe because yeah, it's a Kubrick classic. Even though some people did say it's borderline disturbing, but we'll see.
It's not borderline disturbing. It's just outright disturbing. You know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of effed up shit.
Also, also this film is one of the first foreign films to actually open up #1 at the U.S. box office. The first
Really? Oh, man.
foreign film to open at #1 in the U.S. What an achievement! Wow!
Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
cow!
that's really great.
No! It's like what, 2002? It took them that long? Wow. Okay.
But what other movies did this one compete with? What came out in 2002?
I don't know.
Have to look up.
What, the Matrix? No, that came out in 2003. Never mind.
Nah.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I maybe, I don't know. You know that movie with Tom Cruise and DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can. I think that came out around that time.
I don't know about that, but yeah. Topic of another day.
Yeah. Would you recommend this film before we close off?
I will recommend this film to people, and if I have to give it a score, I'll give it a 9.
Oh,
Very
9.
stick.
Why
Very
not
good.
a 10? Why not a 10?
personally with you, just because I've watched everything ever all at once, it's really hard to give some other movies like that kind of perfection. Because while it's poetic or a melodramatic, it feels Shakespearean for me, like Asian Shakespeare. It didn't really even move my emotion as strong as a Michelle Yeoh's film.
True. Maybe an 8.5, around that. I think I also have a similar reaction with you. I'm not really that super attached to any of the characters as much as the characters in Michelle Yeoh's latest film, but yeah, but still, I'll definitely get a Blu-ray copy of this because it's a good case study material, especially if you want to study about how colors deal with like basically like how to make an aesthetic pleasing painting or whatever you're doing.
And how to make an actual proper epic film without
even also like the costume that they're using, right? It's actually like completely custom made. Like the red pigment, especially in the first like version of the story, that is actually a specific like red dye that they have to import from England, by the way, and then they have to put that into like all of their outfits to actually look like that on camera. So imagine like the painstaking work that they have to go through just to see what you're seeing now. But what's I don't know, what's the next film we're gonna be talking about?
Well, if we're on the Asian wuxia film on the roll, and if you want to get heavily traumatized, we can watch The Curse of the Golden Flower, or we can watch something else.
No, we're gonna be watching something a little bit more wholesome, I would say.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Just a bit of a fresh air, your typical coming of age story. Yeah.
Boyhood.
Okay, where can we find where can they find us, Billy?
You can find us on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and also Podbeans. And Spotify, of course, Spotify.
Yes. You can also find us on social media, so on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Actually, recently I have attached the Twitter and the Facebook of just the Twitter account to my letterbox. So if you haven't followed my letterbox, which is now our letterbox, communism, please do. Please do. It's with the username Malteser. That's the Malteser snack, and on the right side it's 999. So Malteser 999. That's the username. So please follow us because we need more followers. Please.
We're hungry for attentions.
Okay. Catch you guys later. Bye bye.
拜拜。
再见。